Good afternoon, everyone. This is Christian with PerfectStockAlert.com, a 100% free service for smart investors and traders. All we ask in return, please refer a friend. Today is Thursday, February 23rd, 2012. We're looking at the U.S. markets here for a moment. I'm going to take a bit of a moment to look at the bigger picture as well to kind of explain this. You'll notice this major uptrend line here broke on the Dow Jones Industrial Average. This is what we're looking at right now, a 3-month chart of the Dow Jones. And then after she broke down, she actually just kind of moved sideways. That's all she was really doing for a while there. And actually starting to creep higher. Today's pullback of about 50 points in the Dow Jones Industrial Average may have actually been the end of that pullback. Basically, I'll show it to you in a minute, but let me explain it first. The way the markets work is they need to advance and then consolidate and then advance. And if you don't consolidate beforehand, then the secondary advance becomes that much weaker, and it's more detrimental to traders who are trying to buy and chase it higher. And we'll show you some pictures of that in a minute. But this one here, it did consolidate for a bit before moving higher. And another one I'm going to show you which did the same, but we have one that's getting away from us. Okay, here's a good example of what I'm talking about. You've got this previous high point here, nice pullback, nice advance up here, closing higher than the previous one here. That's a breakout. And then she consolidates. That's what you want to see. It can do it like this, where you pull back and then advance again, or it can do it like this, like we've seen with other charts, and then a breakout and move higher. This is fine. This is, we're long gold, and we would, consider that still a smart trade there. But there's other charts out there that aren't doing this. And here's a picture of Japan's iShares, and you can see that you have this takeoff rally here, a little sputter to the downside and then take off again. You want longer consolidation before taking off and advancing again, and this one didn't do it, so this is going to be one of the ones that are going to be weaker and I'm going to stay away from. The London Financial Times Index, or the FTSE, you can see that we have consolidation upon consolidation here. 1, 2, 3, taking off again. Alright, so all this actually makes sense. I may actually issue an alert here as a buy opportunity here with the stop set off of this low here. I guess I could set it higher if I wanted to. I'm not sure where I'll set the stop yet, but I might update that. And these charts are always kept on our free website at PerfectStockAlert.com. You can check them out whenever you like, updated every single day. Okay, here is the NASDAQ, and this is the problematic, the problem child here. You can see this major uptrend here, and breakdown closing below that, moving back above it today, but there's not really been a moment of consolidation. We've just simply advanced, a little pullback and advance, and then kind of sideways for a few days maybe, and then we're starting to advance again. It's not a quality consolidation period before advancing higher, and this is something that does concern me. However, like I've said several times over the past few weeks, I would not buy this particular average. I would buy individual companies that make up this average, and I'll show you more of that later. But for right now, I wanted to show you that this particular chart is actually going to be one that's going to overextend itself more and become more susceptible to a major snap later on. But I don't think it's immediately. I think the fact that we pulled back 50 points in the Dow Jones today and then reversed back to the upside shows that it's not time yet to actually be looking for a big sell-off. And I'll show you a bigger picture that kind of proves it. Okay, this is the NASDAQ 2-year chart. Each one of these candlesticks is a single week. And the thing I want to bring to your attention here is note how here's your high point here, and your close highs. Okay, and when you broke out above that, what you'd like to see is a breakout and then a pull back down and just consolidate for a little while upon that previous resistance, just verify its support, and then advance from that. If you do that, you get a stronger rally, much more potential to the upside. That's not what we're seeing here on the NASDAQ. What we're seeing instead is a breakout, and then she did not, or she was unwilling to actually pull back, so she's going to keep pressing higher. The problem is she's not then going to have taken the time to build a support here beforehand. So let me clean that up again. So what will end up happening, what typically happens, is you get the breakout. Here's your line again. You get that breakout, and she just overshoots. She just keeps going. Then what you end up getting is a reversal, pull back to test that again. So this is something that you need to keep an eye on. If she were to reverse Friday and start pulling down here and maintaining this line, that's fine. But I don't see that happen. I see, in fact, she's pressing higher right now, and they're going to keep trying to push it higher, and that's going to give us with this overshoot, and it's going to be into overbought territory anyway, which is a longer term picture. But the main thing I wanted to draw your attention there is that we're not stopping and consolidating before advancing. So that's something you need to know. If you were going to consolidate, you wouldn't be pressed to be a buyer. But because we're not going to probably do that, we're going to keep moving higher, at least that's what I'm seeing, then you want to be a buyer now, not of the averages themselves, but of individual companies that make up the averages, which have given you a nice pullback and buy opportunity. If you don't have that, then you're just chasing, and I don't want to be doing that. We did play this, the guy from the long side. We saw this move here, the breakout here, and we saw this pullback as being a buying opportunity. We took that opportunity, traded up to the previous high, and that was a smart trade. Now we're done with this particular chart, and we're looking for other companies within the individual average where we can basically play the same strategy. You guys are probably going to ask, where am I getting this target way up here? Why am I drawing this out like that? The way I'm doing that, let me clean that up real quick. A lot of times what you can do, it's not every time, but it's many times, you can take the previous high or the peak, the low, okay, and then simply do the math there, measure this distance, and then project that out the same distance up to here, and you get some idea of how high she's going to go. Like over here, just measure it out. All right, you get about the same distance. Actually, she was a little bit shy. All right, it's just a target, but it gives you some idea of what to expect for the continuation higher. You'll notice over here in this case, we advanced up here, we jumped up a little bit and then pulled back, which is what I was expecting to happen here. It's not seeming to happen, so I'm thinking maybe we're not going to do this little consolidation period like we did over here. Instead, we're just going to go ahead and shoot for the top. That would make it more risky to chase it. So it's just something I want to bring your attention, and I'm showing you this on the NASDAQ, but I can also show it to you on the S&P. I can show it to you on the Dow Jones Industrial Average. So it's something you definitely want to be paying attention to right now. Okay, here we are looking at the S&P 2-year chart. Same thing, previous peak here, pullback. Break out of that point. Go ahead and draw that properly. All right, breaks out of here, consolidates for a little bit, and then takes off again. Here we are. This one is kind of deep. Pulls up to it and breaks out, and we haven't actually consolidated. And I don't think that we're going to at this point. I think if you look at the small details, you'll see that we are rising higher and higher. And if you look at the accumulation distribution line for that same time period, you'll notice that you're already seeing it advance. It hasn't actually happened here yet. In other words, let me just show it to you. Move that out of the way. Come down here. You see how much higher the accumulation distribution line is traveling. It's already had a breakout. We're not seeing as reflected on the S&P. So you can see that we are in fact going to trend higher here. It's not a question of whether or not we will. I believe we will, but I was hoping for a little bit of a consolidation before we took off, and we're just not going to get that right now. Here we are looking at the Dow Jones Industrial Average, longer term 2-year chart. You can see the massive pullback here, the breakout, and then no consolidation to the side. She's just going to keep pressing higher. And that's something that I'd prefer not to see. You get more strength when you take the time to consolidate afterwards, and then rebuild for a secondary advance. But we're just not seeing that right now. If you've not been to our free website at perfectstockalert.com, it's right there. It's 100% free. All we ask in return, please refer a friend or share our videos online. I recommend that you check out the trade school section here. You'll find a lot of videos there teaching you different methods you can use for trading. One of the ones that's actually going to be quite effective right now in this particular market will be the breakout trading strategy that's in there. I think it's a series of videos that shows you how to find those opportunities, including the scans and how you would set your stops and so forth and so on. So check that out, okay? God bless, take care, and I will see you all tomorrow. Please take a moment to review our disclaimer. The information provided herein is our opinion only. Under no circumstances do any statements here represent a recommendation to buy or sell securities or make any kind of an investment. You are responsible for your own due diligence. To summarize, we do not provide investment advice, nor do we make any claims or promises that any information here will lead to a profit, loss, or any other result. These videos are for educational purposes only.